So good evening, everybody. You're welcome to this week's market forecast for the 2nd to 6th of September 2024. As always, this is being brought to you by Trading Pro. Trading Pro is an international multi-award-winning financial service provider. We're currently marking 8 years anniversary, so there's a contest going on. So you could head over to the page, to the website to partake in the competition, and the prize pool is $8,888.88. It's ending September 20th. So going into this new week, we have lots of high impact news, but Monday is going to be calm. That's New York session is going to be very, very calm because we have Canadian bank holiday and US bank holiday. But Tuesday is going to pick up. We have high impact news. The major news going into this new week is going to be unemployment claims and non-farm payroll. So that's coming in on Thursday and Friday. So those are the major news coming in. And Bank of Canada's rate statement coming in also on Wednesday. So those are high impact news that we'll be looking forward to this week. So as always, we're going to start off with the Euro GBP, US 100, dollar index, Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, pound yen, and Euro yen. So starting off with the Euro GBP, this pair is still heavy to the downside. But let's start off with the monthly candle because we have a new month. So if we look at the Euro GBP, you can see that the monthly was very, very interesting. It had this long upper week. So since we're starting a new month, the possibility exists that we might see a bit of a retracement before a continuation of this downtrend. But if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we're already seeing a little bit of a switch in movement. It's not very obvious, but it's already setting up, which points to the fact that we might be seeing a little retracement coming into this week, probably towards this 4-hour fair value gap. Might see a little bit of retracement coming probably into this 4-hour fair value gap here. That's this bearish 4-hour fair value gap, because if you look at this, we had this high that was used to spike this low, and we had a break above it. We have an order block in place. So most likely, if this low, pull back my notations, if this low at 0.8397 holds, then we might see price moving up into this area. So the next we're going to be looking at is the US 100. The US 100 is in a bit of, I would say I'm a little bit neutral about this, but I'm still tilted slightly to the downside. On the higher time frame, if we start off from the monthly, on the higher time frame, we can see that it's still looking very bullish, long upper week. But since this is a new monthly candle, the possibility is that we might see a bit of a retracement to the downside before a continuation to the upside. So if we drop down to the weekly, we have this fair value gap here that price has bounced out of. So the possibility is that we might see a bit of a retracement, then a run towards this weekly fair value gap. That might be where price is going to. So it will go down to the daily. The daily is still moving off this order block, but we have this fair value gap, but we have some other blocks here that may pause the movement in price. So going down to the 4-hour time frame, for us to get a solid continuation of the uptrend, price needs to remove this fair value gap here. So what we are looking for going into this new week to continue the bullish move might be a little bit of a retracement, then a move up like this, then that's what we'll be waiting for. But for now, if you look at price on the 4-hour, price is in a range candle. This last down close candle here, price is within that area. So since price is within that area, we will be waiting to see what price has to offer. We're waiting to see what price has to offer. So a break above this area will send price higher. The break above this area will send price higher. But if price, as you can see, there's a double rejection from there. But this engulfing on the 4-hour point to the fact that price might be trying to go on for this area. Price might be going for this area here. So the next pair we're going to be watching on is the dollar index. Looking at the dollar index is still bearish, but we might be seeing a little bit of strength coming into this new week. As we know, we have a new monthly candle. And if we look at the monthly candle, it has a long lower wick. So we might see, if you understand the theory of open, high, low, there's going to be an open. There's going to be a little bit of retracement into the body of this candle. Because if you look at price spiked this previous month's low and into a fair value gap on the daily. And that created this engulfing. Not basically an engulfing, this bullish piercing pattern. Because this candle swept the low and closed more than half into the body of the previous candle. So if we go down to the daily time frame, this other block here has been removed. Price is within this bearish fair value gap. So what we'll be waiting for is a little bit of a retracement and a continuation into this daily fair value gap here. That is between 102 to 102.50. So we'll be waiting for a little bit of a retracement. If you go down to the 4-hour time frame, you'll be waiting for that retracement back into this, because you can see this candle here is a master candle, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a break. So you're waiting for the retracement and possible continuation of the upside retracement. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the EURUSD. The EURUSD is theoretically, using order flow, still bullish, but the monthly closed with a long upper wick, which points to the fact that we might see a little bit of a move back down before price might continue this upside move. So if we go down to the weekly time frame, you can see the weekly time frame, we have a dark cloud cover, and if you notice, price didn't spike the previous week's high, but we have a dark cloud cover, which is indicative of possible downside. So if we go down to the daily time frame, so price is within this bullish and fair value gap here. The best is to wait for a retracement, probably into this daily fair value gap and a continuation to the downside. So that's what we'll be waiting for. So you'll be waiting for a retracement into the range of 1.1055 to 1.1095. If you get bearish evidence, then you might see lower prices. But be advised, if we're expecting euro strength against the pound, the euro might not be a good option for a short should you start seeing dollar strength. So let's be aware of that. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the GBPUSD. If you look at this from the monthly, you can see that price has almost filled up this monthly fair value gap, but it didn't close above 1.3143. So if we drop down to the weekly, the possibility exists that we might see lower prices. But looking at it from the daily, we might see a bit of a retracement first, as this fair value gap price has closed below it. So we drop down to the 4-hour time frame. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you'll be waiting for a retracement into 3144 to 1.3200 for a move back lower, probably to fill this daily fair value gap here. But other flow wise, it's still bullish, but we're looking at a retracement in play. So the next way we're going to be looking at is gold. Gold is in a bit of a range for now. Gold still bullish, but it's in a bit of a range. If we look at the monthly time frame, we have a long upper wick on the monthly, and it closed above the previous month's high, which was the all-time high gold has set. If we go into the weekly time frame, we have what looks like a doji inside the body of this previous weekly candle. If we drop down to the daily time frame, we are in kind of a range. This looks like a bearish candle pattern. I call this a three candle pattern. It looks bearish, but if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, what we'll be waiting for is this fair value gap here to see what price does there, because price didn't make a new high and this low has been broken. So we'll be waiting to see what price does in here. If it gets rejected, then we might see a bit of a retracement before a continuation to the upside, as this pair is still bullish. It's still bullish for now. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the pound yen. The pound yen, it's in a range for now. It's in a range inside a weekly fair value gap. And see, this is a weekly fair value gap. Price is just below the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. Price is just below that consequent encroachment. If we go down to the daily, we can see that this bearish fair value gap is where price has been within. You can see it's just been ranging in that level. So if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you need to see a break above these equal highs here at 192. So what you'll be waiting for is something like this, a move above 192, a retracement, and possible continuation of the bullish retracement on this pair. But for now, this pair is in a range and it could move in any direction. So we need to be aware of that. And the last but not the least is the euro yen. Looking at the euro yen has been in a range on the daily time frame. Has been in a range on the daily time frame. There's a master candle on the daily time frame. If we look at this from the monthly is starting a new candle. Hello, can you all still hear me? The monthly has a long lower wick, which is indicative of possible continuation to the upside, but we might see a bit of a retracement to the downside first. If we drop down to the weekly, well, not much on the weekly, kind of like in a range. As you can see, price is within the body of this last up close candle. So if you drop down to the daily, the master candle is going to be clearer on the daily time frame. So if we look at the daily, move down to the 4-hour time frame. If we look at the daily, this high to this low, that's the master candle. And you can see we have a rejection from the low with a bullish engulfing. So this points to the fact that if the EURGBP should show more strength, this might be a better long for against the pound, the yen's weakness. So if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, we have a break. So you'll be waiting for a retracement into this set of down close candles and then a bullish move to the upside, as this pair is still in a range. So most likely price will be trying to come up to the range high, So is there any pair anybody will want me to look at before we call it a night? You can type it into the box. Any pair anybody will want me to look at before we call it a night? Okay, no comment. So I'm wishing everybody a beautiful night's rest and a lovely trading week. Wait, somebody is asking a question. USD card. Let me see USD card. It's not a pair I trade. Not a pair I trade, but I'll look at it. That notwithstanding, USD card. USD card, let's start from the monthly. See what we have on the monthly. Oh, this pair is going to be bearish. An engulfing candle on the monthly points to the fact that we might see a little bit of an up move before a continuation to the downside. We'll start from the weekly. The weekly has a long lower wick, which points to the fact that we might see a retracement. On the daily, we have a bearish breaker here. On the daily, we have a bearish breaker. We have this high, this low here, higher high, and a break of this low. So this is bearish. So what you'll be waiting for is a retracement into this area and a short opportunity. That's what you'll be waiting for on this pair. So if we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see, just wait for the retracement. So we might see we have a bullish setup from this low. Okay, this low hasn't been swept yet. So price for the bullish move to take shape, this low at 1.3420, price must not sweep that low. Price must not sweep that low. If that low is left intact, then it's going to be the draw after price moves into this fair value gap here on the daily. So you'll be waiting for price to move up into here, get rejected, and sweep this low first. That's our 34.42 before 34.20. So for this pair, my outlook on this pair is bearish, but you would need to wait for a retracement first. You will need to wait for a retracement into this structure point here before a continuation to the downside. So in the absence of any other questions, I wish everybody a lovely evening, a lovely week ahead, and thank you all for attending. Goodbye, everybody.